3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Ventures, September 1st, 2018. I hope you're doing well. It's September. It's fall. I'm loving the change of seasons. And I want to kick off this weekend by doing a nice brief overview of Bitcoin and Litecoin on the charts, technical analysis, what to expect in terms of resistance and support. Markets are up a little bit right now, so I'm very interested to see what happens next. So let's just jump right into the video and let's talk about this. So last night I tweeted right around midnight, I said, could Litecoin be tracking in Bitcoin's path again just a month and a half later? Potential inverse head and shoulders on the daily Litecoin chart compared to mid-July on Bitcoin. And here's the picture I posted. Many of you remember we tracked this Bitcoin inverse head and shoulders, and we got a breakout out of that neckline, and we got the confirmed head and shoulders, which led us into that lower high on Bitcoin, that last lower high. And now just a month and a half later, we're getting kind of a similar move with Litecoin. Very interested to see what happens with it. The thing with Litecoin is it really depends on what Bitcoin decides to do. However, it could be a very bullish setup, a very bullish foundation to Litecoin actually breaking out if the markets continue this uptrend. So let's go to the charts and look at what's going on. So as you remember, I mean, we're talking over a month ago now, $8,100. We started talking about this inverse head and shoulders on the Bitcoin weekly chart. And you can see we've come down, we formed a possible right shoulder. We haven't had confirmation yet, but you can see us right now still cruising up right around $7,200 on Bitcoin. And then kind of zooming in on the daily chart, I really want to just talk about and set a foundation for what to look out for, because this is important for Litecoin as well. But right now, this is the weekly, this is the daily chart, but this neckline is from the weekly that we have on that inverse head and shoulders. And basically here is that right possible shoulder forming right now. So in the last few days, you can see we broke through the 50 EMA, which was that first area of resistance we talked about needing to break above and stay above. So far, we've done it. And right now, just to paint a picture, we're around 8% from this neckline area. We've been talking for a while about this area right here, which is this box I have on the screen. And that box, if you've been watching these videos, you already know, is really that channel of from Fibonacci retracement of the 618 to the 786. That very crucial area of resistance that Bitcoin sees over and over again in terms of the way it moves. So that's that channel right there. It's a very important channel to watch, and it's nice to see we're approaching it. And you can see right in that channel, running right through it, is that 200 EMA, our obvious next area of resistance. The question is, can we break it? And maybe even a more important question is, can we stay above it if we break it? Because as you know, in this long-term downtrend, we have not been able to show support above that 200 EMA. So if we get above it again, will we see support here? The 200 EMA on the daily Bitcoin chart, very important thing to watch for. And then just real quick, you can check out, here's that inverse head and shoulders that we kind of started this video on, talking about that tweet in terms of Litecoin possible inverse head and shoulders on that daily chart. So that's Bitcoin. That's a snapshot of where we are with Bitcoin. The 618 to 786 channel, very important to watch out for. We'll come back to Bitcoin in a second. Want to visit Litecoin. So Litecoin on the daily chart, let's zoom in just a little bit. You can see this possible inverse head and shoulders that we tweeted about right here. It's a little ugly, but it does the trick in my opinion in terms of if this would be a bottom. I think it's a very bullish formation. We have this possible left shoulder head, came back down, right shoulder, and we have an upward sloping neckline that we basically just broke. So the question now for Litecoin, and we'll zoom in the 4 hour to get a clear picture of this, is as we broke that neckline, which you see right there, you can see it intersects right with the 200 EMA on the Litecoin 4 hour chart. Now, that 200 EMA is a very fun area to watch right now for Litecoin, because if you were on the live stream the other night, we talked about Litecoin pattern forming right now is kind of similar to this most previous lower high area that we had in Litecoin in this downtrend. And you can see it right here. It's like this, it's this upward wedge that formed with these higher highs and these higher lows in Litecoin. And you can see we eventually broke that bottom. So the question is, are we going to do something similar with Litecoin right now, where we break this bottom if we have a continued downtrend? It's something to be prepared for. I'm not bearish. I mean, I'm bullish, right? I'm long-term bullish on Litecoin, but short-term, it's potentially possible. So right now, I have on this chart, it says we are here, because in terms of this very similar pattern forming in Litecoin, you can see when we were making this formation last time, we broke through the 200 EMA, not only once, but we actually broke through twice. And so that first time we broke through, you can see from the bottom of that wedge to the top, Litecoin saw 20% gains. And if you remember, the market was feeling great. Everybody's so bullish on, on every social media platform. And then look how quick it changes, up 20% above the 200 EMA, and then just like that, back down 20% or 12% below the 200 EMA and the 50 EMA. So I say it's a fun area to watch, because right now it's that same area, which is why I said we are here. Because right now you can see the 4 hour, we broke above the 200 EMA, market's feeling good like it did last time. The question is, will support hold this time around in terms of Litecoin above this 200 EMA area? So right now, that's right around $64. So Litecoin at $66 right now. Obviously, as I just mentioned, market feeling really good about it. And we have to keep an eye, though, to see if we hold. Because just like we saw 20% gains from the bottom here last time, most recently from this 50 EMA to where we are now, around 10, or not 10%, right now around 13%. So I just want to throw caution and a reminder out there that it can change very quickly, and we can come back down if we don't show support. So very important to watch what Litecoin does going into this weekend, and maybe even more importantly, to watch what Bitcoin does going into this weekend right now, because finally, right now we are around, I have 8% from the neckline, but if we want to look at how far we are from this 618, which is the bottom of this channel on the Fibonacci, we're around 5%, 4 to 5% from that area. Finally, may be able to test resistance and see if we're going to get that bull run, that bull market that everybody wants. But in my opinion, as I mentioned, we're not going to be there until we break this whole entire channel. 618, the 200 EMA, and the 786, and the neckline. 4 extremely important areas, 4 areas right here in this area to break through for Bitcoin to really break previous lower highs and continue this run. So on the short term going into this weekend, something you can really probably pay attention to also is just in these uptrends, even if we're just forming a new lower high, similar to what we did, back here, similar to what we did back here. One thing you'll notice in these uptrends that Bitcoin has is it takes little breaks on the way up, but it doesn't have crazy pullbacks on the way up. It really doesn't. So I would look for, maybe 5% pullback if it happens later today, tomorrow, whenever, but anything more than that could be a little bit dicey. So just be prepared for something like that. So even this little break that Bitcoin had in the previous uptrend, it's like a 3%, 4% pullback. And then back here in that uptrend, we had around a 5.5% pullback. So from where we are right now, if we did get a pullback and a bullish type of pullback that we can continue this uptrend, right around 5% is something we would want to look out for, which is really the bottom of this bottom trend line that we would need to see support at anyway. So 5.5%, if we get any type of red day like that, I wouldn't be too concerned. Anything above that, though, then we might need to start looking out for possible support breaking. But right now, key support for Bitcoin, that 50 EMA, obviously on the daily chart for Bitcoin, which is also right around 4 to 5%. So let's see what happens in terms of support holding and this uptrend continuing. But those are some key areas to look out for in terms of where Bitcoin is approaching this key important area of resistance. And then Litecoin, similar to that, if it does continue to approach that resistance area on Bitcoin, Litecoin most likely will continue upwards to test this 50 EMA. That 50 EMA on the daily chart, such an important area, and currently we're around 3-4% away from that area. What I'm interested to see on Litecoin is if we do approach that area, are we going to see resistance? And resistance isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially since it's the first test. But if we see resistance there, I'm very curious to see if we get a pullback, right? So 50 EMA, pullback to that neckline around 5 to 6%. So that could be that daily pullback that we might be anticipating on the shorter term. And then from there, what we can look for, if that happens, is that key, very important support at the neckline, that bullish support, that bullish confirmation, a bounce off there for a confirmed reverse head and shoulders on the daily and a confirmed uptrend in the markets. Could we be testing and breaking $70 soon? Very possible. We're at 66 right now, but there is some key, important, and I keep saying that word key. I need to find a new word, but there's definitely some important resistance areas to look out for both Bitcoin and Litecoin. That's my technical analysis for the two going into this weekend. It's Saturday. Let me know how you're making out there. I know a lot of people are feeling in a good mood every time the market is up, no matter, you zoom out on this chart, anytime the market has been up and we get these nice green areas, whether it's there, whether it's there, whether it's here, whether it's here, whether it's here, everybody's feeling in such a good mood. So appreciate all of you for coming by today. I hope you have a great Saturday, a great weekend. Follow me on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, I like to try and update on price as much as I can, but appreciate each and every one of you. I'm grateful for all of you. If you found this video valuable, please hit that like button. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video, and God bless.